Yeah, it was on my bucket list to go on the podcast with them with the most Philly sounding Phillian ever. And
Yo, Brad,
I got you.
I got the Wawa cup, bro.
Of course you have a Wawa cup.
All right, welcome to Ball Breaking with Mike and Steve. We have From the Degenerates on Netflix streaming right now. Brad Williams, thank you a million times for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to me and Mike. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yes.
Dude, of course. Thank you really much. Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, it was on my bucket list to go on the podcast with them with the most Philly sounding Phillian ever. And
Yo, Brad, I got the Wawa cup, bro.
Of course you have a Wawa cup. And you wear the Phillies hat. Do you like walk out of your house and just go like, oh man, I'm not holding a hoagie right now. I go back and grab a hoagie and like just so they know, just so everyone in Philly knows I'm from Philly. Like, is that like do you like, oh, it's kind of hot outside?
That's definitely his thing. That's definitely what he does. He's dieting right now, so he can't hold the hoagie, but it's an empty box he carries that says hoagie.
Yeah, you're just sitting there and just like, I haven't said the words water ice in like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna slip that into a sentence. I'm gonna say that pencil is my John. I'm just gonna like you have to do a Philly thing. Like, if you see a Santa Claus, do you instinctively punch him in the face, or like? What do you...
Hey, Brad, am I the first opener ever in your career to give you a cheesesteak as a gift? That really happened.
Yeah. No. Yeah. But of course you are. I don't go to Des Moines, Iowa, and they're like, hey, you know what we're known for, and you know what you're like. But I love that. I love someone who's like fully embracing the stereotypes, and that's what people from out of town want. Like I'm sure there's some great, amazing Mexican food places in Philadelphia, but I don't go to Philly and be like, man, I need to get myself some enchiladas. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do that. I want the thing that you guys do well, and so hell yeah, let's go. It's great.
How often you travel to a city and you don't vibe out with like the guys that are opening for you? Because I know you tour the country. How often does that happen?
It's rare. I usually try to, like, because this, man. Comedians were just that. I don't want to say brotherhood because that excludes female comedians. I don't want to do that. So like, we're just in this club that's so hard to get into that you give me any comic and we got something in common. Don't get me wrong. There's some rare circumstances where
that's gotta suck when you're stuck with somebody for a week.
I've had to make some phone calls to some bookers and be like, yeah, I'm not saying don't book them ever again, but don't book them with me ever again. And it's tough, man. I never wanted to deny anyone work ever. But when like there was one time, I won't say the comic's name. He's doing enough to ruin his own career, so I don't have to pile on to it. But I was working in Omaha, Nebraska, which I love. I love that city. It's a great comedy town. And there was my feature act who was so like if you watch an episode of Jerry Springer and go like, wow, that's cool they found an actor because no one is like that in real life. Somebody's like that in real life, and he featured for me at the Omaha Funny Bone, and he got caught on camera stealing things from the club.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
He got caught on camera smoking in the club, which is illegal.
Smoking what?
Yeah. And here's the thing, like here's when they confronted him and said like, hey, we have you on tape doing all this stuff. His response was to go, nah, you doctored those tapes. And
because that's a comedy club thing.
Okay, so here's my thing. Like, and here's what I say to every conspiracy person. Like, I go, okay, let's deconstruct this. Let's work our way back. So if you say no, man, the Earth is flat. The Earth is flat. So I go, all right, cool. Earth is flat. Got it. So which is more believable, that the Earth is round, like we've been saying for all these years, and that scientists and physicists and all that have said, or there's a worldwide conspiracy to say the Earth is flat, and that's only known by a select group of Illuminati people. And by the way, they don't profit from this. It's just like for shits and giggles, because no one profits from the Earth being round when it's actually flat. Like the Globe Company is behind this whole huge conspiracy. Okay, so it's either those things. So to that guy, to that comic, I was like, all right, which is more believable to you? That you stole this shit and you were smoking indoors, or a comedy club with all the things that are going on in the comedy club sat down, had a meeting, and said, let's fuck with him this weekend. This piece of shit middle is just too high on his horse, and we need to knock him down a peg. So let's doctor a tape.
Well, there are some shows that do that, don't they, Brad?
Like, it was just like, come on, man. Like, you really think? And then we were in the car on the way to the airport. We were both on the same flight out.
Oh my god! So you're like stuck with this guy.
Did he steal the plane?
He went full Stephen Wright. He stole the plane. But so the owner of the Omaha Funny Bone, or the manager owner, is this woman named Colleen, who's just a legendary club owner in this business. If you go through Omaha, you've met her. No one's got bad stories about her. She's got fiery red hair. She loves the Rolling Stones. She's cool as shit. All right. And so we're in the car. She's driving us both to the airport. And then no one's saying anything because it's like, 4:30 in the morning. And then this comic just starts laying into her. Hey, doctor photo. Your club's a piece of shit. And like just start. And I stop. I go, dude. Almost said his name right there. I go, dude, stop. Like, she gets on a phone call every Monday with every club owner of the Funny Bone, and they talk. And they talk about their weekends. Shut up. Stop talking right now.
They do a conference call. A lot of clubs do that.
Because she's going to tell every single club owner about you, and you're never going to work. And this feature just goes, I'm too funny not to work. They need me. I don't care. They'll book me. And in my head, I'm like, bro, I sold out 4 shows this weekend. I'm not too funny. Like, where they can't fire me. Like, shut up. Like, you didn't sell a ticket. You didn't make anyone $1 this weekend. They don't give a shit about you, but whatever. And I immediately made a phone call and was like, I can't work with this person. I didn't sit in the green room the whole weekend because it's my green room, and because they were in there. I'm just like, I can't.
You gotta just shut them down. Yeah. I mean, I bet now if those things happen, Brad's a new father.
Oh,
he's a dad now.
Congratulations.
And I bet now when
my
your
penis works.
I bet now if you're leaving your family for a weekend and you're dealing with something like that, that makes it 10 times worse.
Dude, I got no time for it. As you get older, you realize, like, I don't have time for that. Like, if someone's cool, awesome. We'll hang out the whole time. But if someone's going to make my weekend a lot harder and I don't have to be around them, I don't have to do anything, done. I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah. I can't. Like, I got a set group of comics who are my opening acts, and I have them done by regions of the country. So if I'm in like Florida in the South, then I got your Carmen Moraleses, your JB Balls, Johnny LaQuastos,
awesome.
Mike Hurley If I'm up in the East Coast right now, I got Pat House.
Pat's great, yeah.
Good Philly boy, slightly less Philly than you, sir. Yeah, middle of the country, I got Raj Sharma, and then on the West Coast, I got a few comics as well that I like to open for me. And it's just like I like having my people. I like having my people, and I like having the people I know, because I don't want to have a situation like I had with the guy in Omaha again, where I'm just like, I don't want to hang out in my own green room. I want to have fun, and I want to have a good group. I want to be with people that treat wait staff nice. Like if I ever hear from the wait staff, like, oh my God, your opener, blah blah blah, I'm like, nope, they're gone, they're done.
Hell yeah.
I don't need that.
So how has the clubs been in your experience since after the pandemic? Are you seeing that the crowds are more into the shows as opposed to before? Is there a comedy boom coming because people have been trapped in for a couple months? Or
I mean, I would argue that we were in the middle of a boom when everything shut down, just because of podcasts and everyone being so the audiences are so much smarter now. They know comedy now. They're inside comedy because they've heard us talk about it on these podcasts. And they know what an opener is. They know what a host is. A feature is, if you said I tagged a bit, they're like, yeah, I know what that is. Like that. Like they're really smart that way. And we were right in the middle of a boom, and then everything shut down. So now I think it's going to be like the Roaring 20s, and fucking A, let's party. Because that's what I've noticed with the shows that I've been doing, and whether it be, and it's all across the board, whether it be in states that were locking it down and kind of taking it seriously, and clubs that were like really taking it seriously in terms of the separation of the tables and the staff and everything like that. And it also at the clubs where they weren't taking it seriously, in the states where they weren't, like, because I've been to Florida.
Well, I noticed in Philly, I just, for our listeners, I opened for Brad at the Philly Helium Comedy Club. He did 7 shows. I'd say 5 or 6 of them were sold out, right, Brad?
5, yeah.
Yeah, and what I noticed, and I don't know if you did this prior to COVID hitting, but you really didn't go out and interact with much fans until it got weeded out. Is that something you always did from before this hit?
I love the meet and greets, man. I like going out there. I sell merch. I make a little bonus money, and just because I get these cool stories, and I see people that got a babysitter and I've been planning this for weeks, or drove 4 hours, or got a hotel, or like did all this stuff to come to the show. Like, I want to meet those people, and I want to take a photo with them, and I want them to have their moment right now.
I thought it was more of a situation where you were afraid if one of them coughed on you.
Now I am.
Now it hits.
But at the same time, because and even people that take it seriously, once they get a few drinks, and I'm like, the thing that I've seen so many times that drives me nuts is, like, if you don't want to wear a mask, okay, don't wear a mask. And then I know, okay, you're not wearing a mask, so I can avoid you or go around or give you your 6 feet, whatever. But don't be this dude that comes up wearing the mask, lean down to talk to me, and then pull the mask down, be like, yo, Brad, let me tell you. And it's like, just fuck it up, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know you. I didn't think you were. I wasn't sure if you were keeping your distance more for the COVID situation, but you seem like you really enjoy interacting with everybody after the show. Yeah. And I just, I've seen some crazy shit over the years where people, like, they try to hug you, or they take you to the bar.
Oh yeah.
And you're not the biggest guy, and I'm sure you've ran into situations like that in the past. You got any stories about that?
Bro, I literally have to say, and I'll be back. I'll be fully vaccinated. I already got my 2nd shot, but you gotta wait the 2 weeks till you're full. And I'm doing this more to make my wife happy than anything. But but probably by the time your audience sees me again, I'll be doing the meet and greets. I'll be back out doing it. Awesome. But I would have to do this bit at the end of my shows and like say like, hey, when the show is done, I'll do the meet and greet. Do not pick me up. Like, you're not allowed. And every time I would do it, the audience, you would hear an audible groan from the audience, just like, oh man, it's like, really? Is that why you bought the ticket?
That's why we came here. What do you mean we can pick you up?
They want to carry the comic.
Yeah, that's why I paid $16 for nachos. I want to pick this guy off the like. They literally were disappointed. I'm like at the time I'd be like, I'm a 35, 36-year-old man. Like, you don't get to just lift me. And then they all be like, what? I'm not gonna drop you. It's like, no one says they're gonna drop you. No one goes, no, my plan is to pick you up and Gronk spike you. Like, no, it's just you act like you've been drinking. I'm a lot heavier than you think I am.
I feel like
I'm a smaller guy myself. I'm only 5'4", but I'm not as funny as big as you. I may go ahead and let them pick me up after if it'll help my fan base.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Tell me more about your struggles at 5'4", you lengthy bastard. That's my favorite thing is when people go, oh no, I know you're 4'4". But let me tell you, I'm 5'3", I'm 5'6". I know what it's like. You know shit.
Listen, but you're still fetish size. Like you're a good fetish size. I'm in the middle. I'm mediocre. No one has a fetish for mediocre.
Yeah. Right, you know what? It's kind of like the mask thing, where it's like, if you're gonna go no mask, go fucking all in. Go all in, no mask. Don't go half-ass no mask or wear it around your chin or do something like no. Go fucking no mask. So I'm the no mask human. Like
I'm the pull down. I'm the pull down.
You're the guy with the mask is tucked just below the nose. You can still sneeze on me, dude. Like, I don't want to get close, and I don't know how you're gonna react. So yeah, you're that in between where it's like, yes, I'm a fetish, I'm a specialty. I'm like, no, he's dedicated to this whole small thing.
I'm on the fence. Nobody likes it on the fence. No one respects this.
You're like, he's dabbling. He's dabbling in the small. He's seeing if it works out for him.
Hey, Brad, how are you adjusting to being a national touring act now as a married family man? You did it a long time in the single life. Has that been a bit? Like, is that a complete switch and a change in a lifestyle? Like, real talk.
What did you do with the groupies? That's what he's trying to say.
Like, you laughed right away. I'm just curious. Like, early on, was this something that you thought was going to be like, I got to change my life around?
Bro, I'll say this. Getting back on the road after I was married and like all that, and when I was dating my wife, I thought it was gonna suck. It's so much better. Like, and I know I like kind of have to say that or whatever, but man, I've got times where like, because when you're on the road and you're single and you're chasing it, like, all right, here's one. Okay, I was in like Kansas City or something like that. And this girl, I met her after the first show. I still had a second show. And she's like, oh, I got to go to this house party. I'm going to this house party. But you should come to the house party when your second show is done. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go to that house party because it looks like you're down. Let's have some fun. So the show ends. I text her to see like, hey, you still awake? She's like, yeah, I'm up. I'm good. I'm having a great time. I'm like, hell yeah. Awesome. So I get a cab. This is before Uber, kids. Before Uber. Get a cab, which is expensive as hell. It's not $8 to go across town like fucking Ubers. And I go and this house is in the middle. I mean, it's Kansas. It's the middle of nowhere. It's farm. It's like, all right.
Danger.
Wow, you were really searching that night, cuz.
Yeah. So I get out of the cab. I'm rolling up at like 1:30, 2 a.m. And that's when I'm rolling into the house party. And I go in I find the girl. She is drunk out of her mind, she's blitzed out of her skull. And she barely recognizes me. And I'm like, wow, you see a midget walk in and you're like, who's that? And I'm like, all right, you are gone. You just saw me earlier in the night. So like, I try to talk to her for a bit. It's obvious nothing's going to happen. She goes in another room and like passes out or something. And I'm like, all right, so I guess I got to go home. I guess I got to go back. So I'm calling cabs, right? And the cabs are like, when I get the answer, they're like, no, that's too far. We're not going out there.
Oh my God.
The driver, the guy that doesn't want to live in it, said, nah.
Yeah. And you're like, how far is it? Like, I'm not calling, like, when I'm calling a cab driver, I bet the cab driver's not sitting there in his Versace tracksuit lighting a cigar with his $100 bill. Like, the dude needs some money. How far is it that you're like, nah, that's too much money. I don't want to make that much money.
By the way, if it's anybody you know, Steve, that's exactly what's happening. That's
Yeah. So I'm calling and I'm just like, no cab driver. And my flight is at 6 a.m. Out of like the Kansas City airport, 6:30 a.m. the next day. So I'm panicking. And I call the opening act. I call my opener.
This is where he flexes. You got the flex.
I finally wake him up and I'm like, bro, I never pull headliner rank.
You had the flex. You had the flex.
Throwing that muscle around.
I got to pull
anytime you're in LA, I'll give you a guest spot.
Yeah.
You start throwing shit at him, you need a referral?
Yeah. I'll write you some letters. He drives out, God bless him, picks me up, takes me first to the hotel. I never packed that fast before in my life. Just chucking everything in the suitcase. And then he drives me to the airport and I made my flight. But like, so that was like a crazy night. And when you're married, that just doesn't happen anymore.
Right. I feel like, well, I'm engaged and I'm newly engaged. You guys both know my fiance. Shout out to Elena. What I'm seeing since comedy's now back is you got to do those check-ins in between shows. And
Brad, your boy here needs some classes.
I'm trying to take some lessons from two guys who've been in relationships. You've been doing it for a while. Like the adjustment of the lifestyle. What's necessary?
Hey,
you
Brad,
have to do it.
Hey, Brad, the first thing he should know is he got into the argument, but he left the phone on speaker. So now I got a whole new set. Listen to the arguments.
No, from the moment you call and the check-ins are vital, the first thing you do, hey babe, I'm just here in the green room with so and so and so. Like, you let them know the situation. And that's also going to help you, because if you say, hey babe, just, I'm in between shows, I'm about to go on, I just had to call you, I'm in the green room with Brad and everything. Then if she knows she's there with other comics, and she's less likely to be like, you son of a bitch. She's like, oh, you with the guys? Oh, that's awesome. Wait, thank you so much for calling me. Just want to make sure that you're all right. Hope your sets go well. Have fun. Have a great time.
Because she doesn't want to seem crazy. See, that helps there. You have people around. You don't get cussed out. It helps.
So the check-ins are vital, dude. But I'll tell you this. I've been married now for 4 years, and I don't check in anymore. She's fine with it.
It's long enough, so she's like, whatever.
She knows. If she really wants to know, she'll call the club. Is he on stage? Yeah.
Well, they don't like you hanging at the bar after the shows in the beginning of the relationship, Brad. They don't.
Yeah.
No,
they don't.
I feel like that's pretty universal.
This is what you do.
Yeah.
You go outside and take a picture of a place that seems nice. and show her where you are. Then you go back to the bar.
You know the other thing that's happened. I haven't been in a relationship for like 7 years, so this is like a committed relationship. Now
you're a retired whore.
Well, now it used to be you text them where you're at, or you call them where you're at. You fill them in. Now you get FaceTime. They want to.
Yeah, they want to see. They don't trust you.
Why are you texting me?
Dude, I established that from the beginning. I'm a FaceTimer in the hotel. That's
really?
About it. I'm not, cause like I don't know what it is. I can't stand it when I'm at a bar. I'm in a subway. I'm doing and someone's like, yo, babe, I'm here. I'm here in the subway, and I'm like, is she that insecure where you're like? She thinks you're getting side pussy on the subway, and you gotta show her.
She's like, no, I'm taking a ride. I'm not getting a ride. I'm taking a ride. This is a subway.
Good Lord.
You can get a background like Brad does, and then that way you can FaceTime. There's ways. There's ways.
Cut the FaceTime out. That and or you do it outside. But the good news for your situation, and here's a trick you can use, unless your girl is listening, in which case, can't use it. But, no, you go to the bar, and you say, babe, I just heard about a mic here. I'm going here to get a spot.
Yes. Yeah, now it's work. My man. You're the man, Brad.
Yeah, because you're at a level right now where, if I called my wife and been like, yo, I'm at this bar,
it's about the delivery.
Yeah.
She don't want to hear you at no mic. You ain't in no damn mic.
She knows I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you lost that privilege, Brad. You gotta.
I'm out. There's only one open mic that I still do, and it's in Washington, D.C. It's at this bar. It's in the basement. It's this legendary open mic. I did 2 shows at the DC Improv and hustled my ass over and did a mic after that at 1 a.m. And it's because all the comics that are in the area, all the headliners, will go and do this mic. So that show.
Philly has one like that too. I thought you did it before. Philly has one like that too. It's called the Raven Lounge.
Yeah, I have done that one.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I'm not going to do a mic after doing 1 or 2 shows and 2 meet and greets, and that's just a lot. But that's what you do, because you're at the point where it's she's like, oh no, babe, you go out, you do that mic. I know it's all building something. So yeah, that's a move. That's a move you can pull.
Of course, I remember last week when I worked with you, you were saying key for an opening act. If you're a likable guy and you're the guy that people want to hang out with, that helps, right? And you're funny, that helps. So you're gonna want to chill and party with the opener if you guys vibe out on that level.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love going to a new city, meeting a guy like yourself, and that I get along with. Meeting Pat House and being like, oh, I can hang with you, and then we go and we hang. That's the part about the pandemic that I probably missed the most. I miss the comedy, of course. I missed making money. I missed writing material, but more than anything, I miss the hang. I miss just hanging out with really, really funny people and people that don't care what you say, and you just go back and forth, and it's just, that's the best. That's the absolute best. And I miss that. So now I'm back on the road, and I'm seeing men and women who I love doing stand-up, and I get to hang out and get to hear what they've been up to, and it's a really cool deal, man. I'm really, really thankful to be back. And to go back to one of your original questions, the audiences are just digging it. The ones that come out love it. They're so happy. They're so thankful. They're so pent up. They're tired of, scrolling through Netflix and binge watching The Office for the 5th time. So they want to go out. So and now we're experiencing that, and it's awesome, man. And you get to hear these stories too. You get to hear these stories from the fans about what their pandemics were like and how much they missed it. And people come out and go, oh my God, I haven't been out in a year and a half. This was my first night out. This was our first date night in a year and a half or whatever the hell. And you're just like, man, you realize as human beings, how much we all need that connection, and we need to hang out, and we need to be social animals. Like when I was in Philly, Steve Simone, great comic,
Steve, organized
a little hangout of all the headliners that were in town that weekend. So it was like me, Steve Simone, Brian Simpson, and he found
Tara was there.
I got to find the name of this. I got to find the name of this place.
Ian Nelly's, I think.
It's like the greatest meatball parm that I've ever had.
Yeah, I think it's called Ian Nelly's, right?
Yes,
Ian Nelly's. Yeah, they're known for their red pie. I've been there.
Tell them about it. You know. You know Steve know.
That's like my second hustle, food guru.
But like, I go there to this spot with all these comics, and Ionelli's, apparently this guy's open like only like 10 days a year. He's got other things going on. So he opened the restaurant just for us, made us a tomato pie, which I've never had before, and oh my God.
I wish I could say the same, that I've never had a tomato pie.
How have I done a Philly thing before you've done a Philly thing?
No, I said I wish I've never done a Philly red pie, but I have. I eat it for I eat that for breakfast, Brad.
Okay. I was thinking to myself, there's no possible way I've done a Philly thing before. That'd be like you be like, no, I've dressed up as Noompa Loompa, and I'm like, I've never done that before. Of course I've done that. But yeah, no, and stuff like that, hangs like that were so great, so fun, and just comics talking shit. And then it was really funny because we were all talking, we're all clowning on each other. We haven't seen each other in a year, and then we ate a bite of the tomato pie, and everything got real quiet. That's how you know it's good tomato
good
pie.
Food.
We're like, oh shit, this is good.
Is Philly the best food town that you come across in the country, or you have a lot of dates marked on your calendar where you're like, guess what? I better fast for this one.
Philly's a good one. Philly's a real good one. New York, obviously, is a good one. San Francisco, great town. I love Austin, Texas. It's a good mix of a few different things. Kansas City has got like one thing, but that one thing is so good that it's such a great food town. Barbecue. Their barbecue is so, oh God, it's awesome. So like, yeah, I love going to Kansas City. And definitely not going to hit up the girl again who drove me out. Like I went out there to the house or whatever. But
I know a lot of the LA comics, they generally try to eat healthy, and like when they're on the road, that LA life, you know what I'm talking about? Like that vegan juicing.
Yeah.
I didn't sense any of that from you.
Dude, I'm the opposite, and here's why. Because my wife cooks, and she's a really great cook, and she likes to make healthy food. So she makes healthy food. So then I go on the road and I'm like, give me the meatball parm. Give me like, if I'm going to Buffalo next week as we record this, I'm getting all the wings, dude. I'm getting all the wings. Not some of them, all of them. And you know, there's a restaurant. I'm in Jersey right now. There's a restaurant that's across the street from the Stress Factory called Salt. And it is amazing. Some of the best seafood you've ever had in your life. So yeah, I'll go there. Like, yeah, I'm going. Like, I eat healthy at home. We have a little garden. My wife has had a garden in the backyard. She grows our own veggies and stuff like that. Oh yeah, healthy.
It sounds like you got to lie to her when you. Oh, how you eating on the road? Oh, I'm eating a salad.
I got a carrot right now. I got a carrot in my mouth right now.
My wife would rather I be in a strip club than a Burger King. That would offend her more if I called her
so
up.
my relationship's normal right now.
Yeah.
My lady food preps for me. She's trying to, you know.
Yeah, it just happened out of nowhere. We were going to a show. He pulled out a shaved cucumber. I didn't know what was happening here.
That really happened, Brad.
A shaved cucumber? Yeah, you thought... You guys probably thought he was planning on using that at the strip club.
Who said we were going to a strip club? We were going to a gig. All right? Don't get me in trouble, Brad.
Babe, it was incredible. Like, you do stand-up, then if they like you, they hit you with 2 glitter cannons. That's why I'm covered in all this glitter, is because I had a really good set and they hit me with the glitter cannons.
Hey Brad, I wanted to ask you. I didn't get a chance to ask you this. A lot of these questions are repetitive because I spent a whole weekend with him and was asking.
And Steve talks a lot.
And I talk. I'm a talker.
Yeah.
So Carlos Mencia was someone that took you on the road for a bit of a decent time and a mentor to you.
Yeah.
Being an LA comic, did you open for anybody else that took you under the wing, or you were just committed to Carlos early in your career?
I was pretty much just with Mencia for the most part for like 4 years, because he was a dog, man. He'd go out like every weekend, but there were times when I would get like, he would take some time off or have a movie or a TV show that he was doing, and so I'd have some time, and then I'd go out with a few other guys. So Gabriel Iglesias took me out a few times.
Oh wow,
he was great and to this day is awesome. But one of the ones that I still remember that was so much fun, I learned so much, was Jim Brewer. I got a chance to open for Jim Brewer just one time, but Jim Brewer, to see his work ethic, see how just naturally funny he is, and to hear him talk about like comedy and things I needed to do in the business and how to set myself up for success. Fucking A, man. Jim Brewer, so good,
yeah, monster,
so funny, and just one of the genuine nicest guys. So yeah, Gabriel, Brewer, those are the ones that really pop into my head. There are probably a couple others that are sprinkled throughout, but yeah, it was cool to go out and do shows with other comedians, because I was essentially just living one life and, just going out with one, and then I go out with another and go, oh, it's similar but different. Like, this is how they do it.
Right.
This is the kind of stuff they do. And so I could see different types of styles, different ways of conducting business, and then kind of pull from all of that and be like, okay, I like the way that person does that. I hate the way that person does that, and I can kind of contrast and compare. So, yeah, but it's dude, whenever you're in a situation like that where you're hanging out with a big name headliner or something, just try to soak it all in like a sponge. And it's both things. It's pick up the things that you like and that you think is making that person successful, and then avoid the things that they're doing where you're like, oh, that's not good. Like, that's not going to make them successful 5 years down the road. Like, avoid that. Pick up those things too, because sometimes it's just as valuable to learn what not to do than to learn what you should do.
Yeah.
And like right after you opened for him, was the goal always to follow your own lane and be a national act from the get-go?
Yeah.
Okay.
From the start.
Right.
That's all I wanted. And that's what I try to remember when, like, I'm doing shows right now that are like at a half capacity or third capacity, unless you're in Texas or Florida, hey, or Nashville. But yeah, if you're doing shows like half capacity, third capacity, I keep thinking to myself, man, like I'm missing out on like 50% of the money or stuff like that, or I'm missing out on merch money because I'm not going out and doing the meet and greets afterward. But then at the same time, I just stop for a second and go, yeah, but remember when you were a host and you were going on the road, all I would say is I just want to be a touring headliner. If I could be a touring headliner,
yeah, that's
it. I'll be good. And now I am. So whether it be full houses, half houses, third houses, as long as people are there, people are laughing, and I get to do that hour, they bought the ticket to see me, cool. Goal is done. Like, I did it. So that was the goal from day one. I'm always amazed, and everyone's going to live their own life and everyone's path is their own. So who am I to judge? But at the same time, I'm always amazed when comics are like, no, I'm pretty good just being the middle guy. Like, I go out, I do my thing, I get my $100, and then I go home and I'm like, it's okay. But don't you want to do anything? I feel like I'm talking like a dad right now. Like,
no.
Don't you want to do anything more with your life?
Well, I remember you mentioning to me that being from LA and knowing that so many people move there to break into the comedy industry, you felt like you had it. I don't know if you said it was a little easier, or you felt like you had a little bit of an edge because like people, they changed their life to break into the industry. Maybe the fact that you were following, you were on showcases with national headliners at an opening level, right? Yeah.
So like I'm born and raised in Orange County, California, which is, 45 minutes away from Los Angeles. So I started in the LA scene. My first set ever was at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood at their open mic night. So it's like, and a lot of guys work up to that point. So yeah, I am in awe of people and comics that moved to LA, moved to New York. We'll probably be moving to Austin, Texas soon, because that seems like it's going to be the new hub.
Yeah.
I'm in awe of those people because they, like you say, they uproot their life. They stop everything they're doing. They stop their job. They stop their friends. They stop their family, and they go and they just live in a city, and they don't know anybody and they don't know anyone. Like I always had the fact that like, oh, I can go and drive an hour and a half, do an open mic, drive back, and my mom cooks for me. You know what I mean? Like I had that. So I'm in awe. I'm in awe of any comic that is able to do that. So yeah, I mean, you can say I had an advantage, but also you can say I had a disadvantage in this way. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and if you go up in front of someone really important too soon, you're not ready, you have a bad set, that's in that person's brain, and they need to see you kill now like 3, 4, 5 times before that idea will switch in their head.
Brad, two quick questions before we wrap it up. It's called Ball Breaking with Mike and Steve. We like to ask funny questions that probably have happened throughout your career. What's the worst situation that happened with a fan after a show? I mean, you mentioned earlier about people trying to pick you up. Have you ever hung out early in your career with people that were in the show and then something might happen after the fact?
The worst thing that happened to me with a fan was in Denver, Colorado, which is literally my favorite comedy town. So it's my favorite city. No knock on Denver. I love that city. And I'm doing the meet and greet afterward, and this little like pixie of a girl walks up to me after the show and says, "Hey, great show. I want to take a really fun photo. Like, I don't want to do a normal photo. I want to do a fun photo."
I know where it is.
And I'm looking her up and down. I'm like, she's got to be like 105, maybe. So I go, okay, let's do a fun photo. And I wrestled in high school, so I know how to do a few things. And I go in and I pick her up in a fireman's carry, and I'm holding her on my shoulders. And she's laughing. She's having a good time. She takes the photo. Cool. I put her down. And I go, "Hey, was that fun?" She goes, "Yeah, that was a fun photo." Her boyfriend, who is not 105 pounds,
He said it was not
significantly larger. That's awesome. I want to do a fun photo. And just literally, guys, jumps on me. Jumps on my
Jesus Christ.
And I catch him, I hold him, and as I'm holding him, I just feel the entire left side of my back just go click, 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 click.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God, bro.
Mother, like,
wow.
And I put him down. We take the photo. Next day, I wake up, I can barely move. Barely. And not to get too down, but like, so I ended up having to do almost a year of like physical therapy, chiropractors, treatments, like doing all this shit.
That ain't breaking balls. That ain't breaking balls. That's breaking back.
You got jumped nicely. Like he literally got jumped.
Yeah,
that's Philly lot. That's Philly love right there. Did that happen? That happened in Denver? Are you sure?
They might have been from Philly.
And like literally for almost a year, I'd wake up in a town and be like, "Okay, I have to lay in bed pretty much all day. I mean, and then I would take like 2 Epsom salt baths a day. I would stretch. I would do all this shit just so I can go do the show, and then that's about how long it would last. And then right after the show, it would tighten back up, and I'd be like, all right, I gotta go back, and I'd like kind of limp back to the hotel and get back to the hotel, go stretch, go in bed, do the same thing the next day, and that was a long, that was a haul. So I was. Yeah, that was the worst interaction I ever had with a fan. If I could get some of that physical therapy money back, that's awesome.
All right, so Brad, don't pick up Brad, and Brad's not picking up you. These are the rules.
I'll do it if you're like if you're a twig, that's fine. But even now, dude, I can't do that shit anymore. I'm not picking people up. I'm not doing it. I got small arms. I need my back to have flexibility. I got to be able to wipe my ass, guys. That's all I'm saying. I got to be able to wipe my ass. And if that happened again, I don't know if I'd be able to wipe my ass. That would be a horrible thing.
Last question, Brad. Worst heckle of your career. Most memorable worst heckle of your career.
I wouldn't say it was one particular heckle. I've had some whatever, because usually when people heckle me, it's real lazy. It's real lazy heckles. It's just people yelling out, "Oompa Loompa," and I'm like, really, asshole? Like, you don't think I've ever heard that one before? Okay. It's March. Where's your pot of gold? Okay, I get it. And then I destroy them. But the worst one wasn't necessarily an individual heckle. It was an overall audience.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
This don't sound good. This don't sound good.
This was very early in my career, and this was maybe the worst. No, this was the worst bomb I've ever had. So this was a few years in. I got booked on this show, and I wanted to do it, and it was Black Night. It was Urban Night at the club.
Yep,
okay?
we'll do it.
And I had not done that before.
Those are all my
test
bombs.
Myself, see what I can do. See if I could. See if my comedy was universal. So I go on stage, and like a moron, I can't emphasize this enough to you. Moron. This is the dumbest move. You're a young comic listening to this, and your audience is a different race, gender, whatever, sexual orientation. Never do this. I can't emphasize this enough. Never do this. I try to talk and act like they would like me. What I thought they would like me. Don't make me say the words out loud. What I was doing. And it was dumb. And it was horrible. And it's not that they heckled me. They did this. Now, I know this is an audio podcast, so I'll explain what I did in a second. But so, like, we're talking, they did this.
Wow.
That's worse than the cell phone. We
That's
say
worse.
the worst heckle's this now in 2020.
Yeah. No, the worst, they turned around. They just turned around, ignored me, started having their own conversations, and been like, you know what? I got 3 funny friends here at this table. Let's talk to them. And
yeah, that would hurt.
It was like a collective, like the whole audience had this exact same thought at the exact same time. And like was like, nah, we're just gonna avoid you. And yeah, that was the worst I've ever done. And I learned a very valuable lesson that day. And that is, do not pander. Do not be the person that you think the audience wants you to be. Be yourself. Whatever that is, whatever you are, do that. They will respect you more for that. Not just Black audiences, all audiences. And needless to say, now, like, if I go, like I do hilarities in Cleveland now, but before I did hilarities, I did the Improv in Cleveland. And the Improv in Cleveland is a notorious urban room, kind of hard to do. And I would go there and I would have fun. I would have a lot of fun. And those audiences, if you can get an urban audience, if you're different, and you get an urban audience on your side, nothing better. Nothing.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
That is
Nothing
one thing.
better.
The urban those rooms, when they laugh. It's loud.
And they're going to tell you if you're funny.
Yeah.
You know,
you find out early, and they'll let you know for sure. You gotta
most honest audiences, because you go to white audiences, and some of them will be like, "You're doing good. No, keep going. It's okay." Like they're being encouraging. You know, no, go to the urban audiences. Oh, you're not funny? All right, fuck you then. Like it's just
immediately.
Woo! So that's some of the most honest stuff that you'll get from an audience, and that's my worst. It's not necessarily a heckle, but it was like the worst.
That's worse almost, because that's not even worth heckling you. Like you're not even worth heckling. That hurts.
I will tell you the worst heckle I ever got. It didn't throw me off, but definitely I'm like, I can't believe someone said this out loud. I mean, now that we've experienced the last 2-3 years that we've experienced, maybe people won't be so surprised that this happened. But I'll tell you what happened. I was in Marco Island, Florida, which is on the the west coast of Florida, and man, that is some Republican country, okay? Like, and not country like not that country. That is like, oh no, I'm going to buy your business and then just ruin it, just so I can spite you. Like that kind of Republican area. And by the way, I'll talk shit on Democrats and Republicans. It's not a thing. It's just that's that area. So I'm on stage and I do a black joke, and someone stands up on the far right side and just yells out "white power."
Jesus. Awkward.
And I look over at this person.
Come on, you got to come back. You're the comic.
Because it was it was the record stop. And I was like, what? And like, I turn and look at this person and I go, did you just say white power? And by the way, I'm doing that as an out. Because I'm going to give you an opportunity. You thought that was going to be funny, not funny. And now I'm going to get you an opportunity and be like, no. I said I need more flour. Like you could say anything else. And then I go, did you just say? And she doubles down and goes, I said white power. And I stopped the show and I'm like, okay, you have two options right now. Number one, you can leave. That is option one. And right now, that is the option. I'll tell you right now, I would prefer that option. If you just left, if you got up, you left, I'll even pay your fucking bill to get you out of here faster. I don't want you here. So if you could leave, that'd be great. That is option A. Option B is you sit there, you behave the rest of the show, and I am going to mercilessly make fun of you the rest of the show. You will not like me. Because I can't just let that go and be like, yeah, so pasta, that's weird. Like I can't, you can't transition from that and then just go back to a normal show. And I go, so what is it gonna be? And she just looks at me and goes, we're staying. And I'm like, here we go. Okay, so, and for the next, like, oh God, the rest of my set, every joke, I would tag them in it. Everything. There was a black couple in the audience. I handed them dinner rolls at some point and said, "Do you think you can hit them? Let's try." And like just chucking dinner rolls to these people. And they stayed. They stayed the whole show. They watched the show. I still did the meet and greet afterward.
Did you see them?
No, I was like, no, get out. No, leave. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't with the, what what are we going to talk about? Oh, that was a fun thing you did. No, it wasn't.
Thanks for making my job difficult.
So yeah, that's, and it wasn't even a heckle. Like they thought that because I made the black joke, they're like, oh, we're doing this now. Let's go. And then just went in on it. And I was like, no, that's not happening. So yeah, that's the craziest heckle I ever got, was someone yelling that out. I'm just like, oh my God, they still make you.
Hey, Brad, thanks for breaking balls with Mike and Steve. Before we close out, when are you back in the New Jersey, Philly area, aside from Stress Factory? Is there a date in your calendar? Because that's where most of our listeners are based.
Got it. I don't know off the top of my head, but go to bradwilliamscomedy.com. I have the rest of my 2021 booked. Like pretty much all my dates for the rest of 2021 are already booked. So yeah, I'd go there. I'd see where I'm appearing, and I've got some like Connecticut dates and some like Virginia, DC, like that kind of stuff.
Pretty close, yeah.
Rhode Island, Boston, stuff like that. So by all means, please look that up. Hope to see you in the audience. And you guys are fun, Mike and Steve. You guys are good people. I like the concept of the podcast. I like the stories, and and I get to stare at a photo of Dave Chappelle.
We both tried to decorate this as best as a couple people said when they did the podcast virtually, it looks like a student desk. We're trying our best. We're trying our best.
We fixed the student desk with a black guy, and that clears
Frank
it up.
Sinatra. Frank Sinatra on that end.
Who's right behind you, Steve?
That's a famous photo in the movie Goodfellas when he shows it to his mom, and it's the guy in the trunk.
Oh, good fucking Lord, you are Philadelphia. Jeez,
Brad. Thank you again for ball breaking with Mike and Steve.
I'm surprised you didn't try to
I'm trying to
reenact Roy Halladay's pitching motion while we're doing the show, like just casually, or like do the Julius Erving up and under layup. Like just as we're talking, you just try to work that in. Oh my God, you are so Philadelphia.
Brad, you're the man. Break a leg tonight, buddy.
Thanks guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Much.
It was a blast. Anytime.
Brad, you're the man. Thank you.